I did get a haircut. I'm a new me. I got a haircut on Saturday, which was pretty blessed. My barber's really good. He's good, and he's good at what he does, man. He's like this old Trini dude, right? Oh, boy, how you doing, man? Them things and such like that. He's like this old Trinidadian dude, and like he really like brings me back to my I guess my roots. Every now and then it's nice to hear like somebody that's like, from your tribe. Even though I love everybody, like I said, I just want to make love to the whole universe and all the aliens. I love everyone, but it's kind of nice to, be around people that you kind of connect with culturally, I guess, so to speak. That's not being so dismissive of others. Can we agree that sometimes it's nice to be around people that, share some of your heritage? And this dude, he's an old Trinidadian dude. Hey there, boy, and them things like that, Johnathan. Right? So I go get my hair cut. But, like, he's kind of insane. That's another thing. Like, the Trinidadian people are, generally speaking, pretty mental. Like, I mean, my entire fucking family had mental illness and weirdo tactics and behaviors and shit, right? This barber of mine, he's no different, right? Like, the last time I went and saw him, I go to the barber shop, I'm sitting there, and, like, his boss, this lady, she runs the parlor. She's like, oh, just wait a minute, let me call him. And she didn't think I can hear, right? And she gets on the phone, right? She's like, where the fuck are you? You've been gone for like 2 hours. Where the hell are you? Sorry, I like almost burped there. Oh, 1 second. Pardon moi. Anyway, yeah, so like, she's like, yeah, where the hell are you? And she's screaming at him on the cell phone. Finally, he shows up, right? He's like, oh, hey there, man, how you doing? I was just over there playing tennis, boy. I'm like, what? I was just over there playing some tennis, man. I'll be hitting the ball and things like that, man. And they back the fuck up and blop. And he's like miming doing like a tennis shot. The man's 60 years old, for Christ's sakes. I'm just looking at him like, what? You were playing tennis? I wouldn't even trust you with a ping pong paddle. What the fuck you mean you're playing tennis? And like, so anyways, like he's just kind of strange that way. He like dips out from work to go play tennis. And, but anyways, not only that, he's like a sexual sadist. He's a fucking pervert. He's always like talking about sex and shit. Actually, not always. Sometimes we talk about like canaries and birds because like we both share a love of pets and animals. Like that's one of the reasons why we also connect, right? Not just because we're Trinidadian. Yeah, man, the Trinidadian boy and things and wind it up, man. But like, we also connect on the fact that we both love animals. Like, I had a pet frog, right? And poor little bugger. He passed away. If you want to check out episode number 6 of JR.the podcast, Johnathan Ramcharan, the podcast. I believe it's episode 6. Norris the frog. He passed away. I eulogize him a little bit. But anyway, we both share a love of animals. My barber and I. He collects. That sounds kind of perverse. Do you collect animals or do you have pets? Do you have a pet? No, I collect animals. What's your name? Norman Bates. Anyway, he has like canaries and birds and shit, and he takes them to like bird, he actually competes in like bird, what do you call that? Bird shows or whatever. I don't know, talent shows. Bird talent shows? Yeah, he competes in them. Well, the birds compete. He coaches them, though. He's like, yeah, boy, them things like that, them birds, they be standing up real proud, man. You stick the chin out and they flap the wings back and they just standing there like that, man, them boys. He's like imitating a bird. And like, I find this shit fascinating, because, I'm a comedian. I don't want to hear anything about weather and, what you think about, your wife's cooking. Like, I don't give a shit. Tell me about birds. So then, he's going off about his bird training camps and how he takes his little canaries or whatever to, these competitions. And he won a few of them, right? And I was like, oh, wow, congratulations. So, I was pretty proud of him for that. But he's also like a sexual sadist. Like, the other day, like just this past fucking Saturday when I went to get my hair cut, right? He'd be like, boy, did you know this? Women be fucking their dogs, man. The woman, she be fucking her dogs. Did you know that? I was like, No, I didn't know that. Women, what? He goes, women be fucking their dogs, man. You didn't know that? I knew that before I came to Canada, man. These women, they be fucking their dogs, boy. I was like, really? He goes, yeah, man, look at this. He like pulls out his like cell phone and he proceeds to show me all these like bestiality videos. Like this sweet young thing, she's like fucking 19-year-old gorgeous, like fucking mocha, stringy haired fucking, I guess, crack addict or something. Anyway, she's fucking a dog, right? And like I turn away, right? Because I don't watch porn. I haven't even watched porn in over, like that's how clean my spirit is. That's how good I feel as a comedian. So it breaks my heart because I can't like indulge in this perversity because like, you know, I got a love for God. I'm sober and shit like that. And it just breaks my heart because like we could connect on such a deeper level if I was more like, you know, drug addicted and an alcoholic as I used to be. But like, it just breaks my heart because he's trying to show me this dog video of like this chick fucking a dog. And I'm just like, I don't want to see that. So I kind of like, but you know, I was respectful. You got to respect your elders. So I just kind of turned my head away, right? And he's like, look at this boy. She be fucking a dog, man. The dog be like rough fucking her, man. Yeah, man. Women be fucking dogs, boy. And I was like, okay, so about the haircut, I'm thinking kind of like, you know, Will Smith in I Am Legend. Like, I'm trying to get his mind back into, like, the haircut, right? But, like, he's, like, shepherding me all these fucking videos of, like, animal fucking, right? So, anyway, and then, like, he starts going off about, like, you know, the women in the parlor, right? Mind you, yeah, as well, at this moment, there's like fucking 20 women sitting around waiting, maybe not 20, like, I don't know, 10 women sitting around waiting to get, you know, different nails and hairs and whatever, titty enhancements, like shit done, right? Like, it's you know, it's a hair parlor, right? So, like, there's all these women sitting around and shit, right? He'd be like, look at that one over there, boy. That one. He, like, points in the mirror, right, as I'm sitting in the chair. And I was like, that one? That one. Yes, that one. Which one? That one? That one. That one. That one. That one over there, boy. There's something wrong with her, man. She be always coming in here looking like that. Look, you know, that stone-faced bitch woman. There's something wrong with that one, boy. There's something wrong with her. You know, I think about getting her a dog. A German Shepherd. He wants to buy her a German Shepherd. And I was like, hey, that's mighty fine of you, sir. So then, you know, then he starts going on and on again about his love life, right? That's another thing. You know, he's a very sensitive guy. You know, I think you have to be a hairdresser. But anyways, he's a very sensitive man as well. And he's like, you know, man, I talked to this woman and she be not calling, man. I talked to this woman and she just not be calling. You know, I told her, you know, whatever time you want to go to the movie, take the movie, check the movie, you pick the movie and the time and then we go. She not be calling, man. What the fuck? Do you think she's going to be calling? I'm like, well, I certainly hope she calls, but I guess I wouldn't know. He goes, yes, that's the truth, man. That's the truth. You don't know, and I don't know, man. But that's what's been killing me, man. Is she gonna call? I was like, tough break, kid. So anyways, about this haircut, you know, kind of like, you know, I'm thinking like, you know, Denzel Washington, Man on Fire. You know, I'm trying to get his mind back into this haircut, for Christ's sakes, right? But you know what I say, like, my heart's with God, and I try to listen to all his creatures, even if they want to talk about sex acts between animals, you know. Who am I to, you know, anyway. So then, like I said, he's a very sensitive soul too, right? And he's still going on and on about his like love life. And he goes, no, man, I don't know. She's going to call. You know, I think she's going to leave me for a dog. She's going to leave me for a dog. And I'm like, okay, yeah. So anyways, I'm thinking like Samuel L. Jackson, Pulp Fiction. Maybe we do like, you know, like a fucking Jerry curl. So finally I get the haircut done and it looks bomb diggity. And that's why I go back to him, man. He's a Trinidadian man, true and true. He's a funny man, very funny man with his crazy sex theories. And he's a canary trainer, which is honorable, you know. And yeah, I got my wicked haircut. Wicked boy, them, yeah, don't even know what that meant. Bluka. Sounds gangster, right? Anyway, yeah, the haircut went well, but that's my barber in a nutshell. Check this out. Your man got a haircut. I got a haircut. You know, I get a haircut like every month. I used to just do it myself, right? I'm a black man. For all y'all motherfuckers out there listening and you can't understand by the sound of my voice, I'm a motherfucking black man, you hear? See, as a black man, you gotta get your hair cut every once in a while, because if you don't, the white man's gonna judge you for it. You know what I'm saying? It's a diabolical disservice to your community when you're not getting yourself an afro haircut. You're walking around with your hair all nappy, all dreadlocked and nappy, dirty, disgusting, frizzy head, you know? It's about time you stand up and represent your community. Go get yourself a haircut, you hear? You understand me, boy? So I got a haircut Saturday. Yeah, I went and got my haircut Saturday, but, you know, I don't know, like I spoke about in previous recordings, I have a very eccentric barber, like, borderline insane. He's like this, Trinidadian man, right? Oh, hey there, boy, everything's and such like that, wind it up, boy. You know, he's like this Trinidadian man, and I'm Trinidadian myself, right? I come from a Trinidadian background. My mother was Trinidadian, my father, I don't know, some nigga. I don't know who he was, you know. But, you know, anyways, I grew up with like a lot of Trinidadian culture, you know. We used to eat roti, curry. We used to hang around a lot of Trinidadian folk. We used to go to like Kerry West festivals, you know. Caribbean West festivals. We'd go and wind it up, boy, and party and dance around and shit. And over the years, I kind of lost track of that because I come from a very fragmented fragmented family, and you know, kind of displaced, kind of what do you want to call it? I don't know. Displaced, disassembled, dismantled, you know, kind of a, you know, broken family. So that kind of heritage thing kind of got lost on me over the years. But, you know, I still enjoy seeing Trinidadian folk and hearing their little voices, you know. Oh, everything be like that, man, and them girls over there, boy, and you have a sip of this thing over here, boy. So, I don't know what that last part was there. That last part, you know, the Trinidadian newfie. But, yeah, so there we go. And my hairdresser, he's like a bit eccentric old Trinidadian dude, right? And so I go to get my haircut on Saturday, right? I'm sitting there in the chair, right? And he's like, how's it going, boy? Oh, Lord, I haven't been feeling good lately. Oh, I've been tired. I'm so tired lately, boy. So tired. I was like, oh, well, you know, I ain't good, you know. Maybe it's a change in the weather, you know, like maybe it's a little bit of the sun and the, you know, summertime heat that's getting to you. That's all. I don't know if that's the thing. I like the heat, man. I like the heat, but I don't know. Oh, God. Oh, I've just been so tired. I'm like, okay. Well, don't fall asleep on me now. I'm trying to get my hair cut, you know? Somebody has to get some pussy. It's not my fault you're 80 years old, you know? I still got some pussy to get, you know? Like, focus on this fucking haircut, man. Make me look beautiful. So, you know, he gets to snipping away. He's snipping away. Then all of a sudden he goes, oh. I was like, are you okay, sir? He's like, just tired. Just so tired. Do you have any gum? I was like, what? Do you have any gum? I was like, what'd you ask me for? He goes, do you have any gum? You know, like, and he starts chewing, right? I thought he said cum. Do you have any cum? I was like, what? Right? But no, he was asking me for some gum. And I was like, oh, sorry, sir. No, I don't got any gum. I was, oh. And then he opens a drawer, right? And he starts rustling through the drawer. Oh, here it is. Oh. And he pulls out like a chocolate bar, right? he pulls out like this like chocolate granola bar, and he goes, "Do you want one?" And I was like, "Nah, man, that's okay." He goes, "I'm so tired," and he plops down in a chair, right? And he starts eating this granola bar. So I'm sitting there with like half my hair like splayed across my lap, you know. I got half this haircut, fucking hair in my eyes. I'm just sitting there, and he's like, "Oh, I needed some sugar." He's like eating a granola bar. I'm just like staring at him, right? I'm like, But it was just awkward, you know. I mean, like, I remember thinking like, this is strange, but not the strangest thing he's done to me, seeing as he's like shown me animal smut. He's shown me animal porn. He's told me all his crazy theories about women fucking dogs. He's a canary trainer, right? He trains canaries and shit. He tells me about that. So I'm just like, you know, he's usually saying some kind of oddity, right? Some kind of nonsense, right? Coming out of his mouth. He's got a son who, like, he's apparently a famous rapper, but he can't remember his son's name. Well, that's a black man for you. But, like, he's got, like, a son that he says is, like, a famous rapper, but he can't remember his name for some reason. I don't know. You know, so he's a bit of a loony dude. But, I remember just thinking, okay, you know, like, this is awkward, but, you know, like, I was worried. I'm like, hopefully he's okay. Like, I don't, you know, he's collapsing in a chair to eat a granola bar. Like, hopefully he's taking care of himself, right? And, you know, I was actually a little ashamed for a moment, because sometimes you really do think that, you know, isn't it kind of funny how, like, onerous we get on people in the service industry or in industry? Like, when you pay for somebody's services, sometimes you expect them to be superhuman. It's as if like, don't you die on the company dime? How dare you fall down dead while I'm getting a haircut? You know, like, I paid good money for this, you son of a bitch. You know, go die on your own time. I need a haircut. So, I was like, yo, man, where's your compassion? Like, calm down. He's an old bastard. Just let him writhe in pain. Oh, the pain. I'm tired. So tired. So then, like, he finished his granola bar. Oh, that helped out very much. Oh, God, I've been so tired. My eyes be acting up, man. My eyes. I went to the doctor. He told me to get some eye drops for my eyes, and they be acting up and getting all white, watery, and this and that. And what I do is I take a little bit of hot water, and I pour some salt in it, and I put it in my eye, and it helps my eyes. But, you know, between my eyes and the cholesterol, like I was making some chicken the other night, and I put some chicken in the pot, and I put a little bit of oil, but then I noticed I put a little bit too much oil and the sugar to brown the chicken. So I put a little too much sugar in the sugar and the oil in the chicken, and I just been so tired, and my eyes be acting up, and I don't know what to do, and women be fucking dogs, boy. You know, my woman, she's fucking a dog, and, you know, all these things are happening around me, boy. I've just been so tired. I'm like, dude, haircut. Hup 1, hup 2, 3, hut, haircut. Oh. So, you know, he's just been kind of a loony dude. And, like, I got me thinking, I'm like, what percentage of a haircut, like, what is acceptable in the haircut game? Like, what is the batting average? What is the accept, like, because, like, he fucked up the haircut. Afterward, he's like, oh, here you go. I got that done. Oh, I've been so tired. I'm like, yeah, you kind of mentioned that. So then I'm like looking in the mirror, right? I'm like, what the fuck? I got like a receding hairline. You know, it's like the sideburns are uneven and shit. And, you know, it was semi-noticeable, right? It was probably like, you know, it was vaguely noticeable, right? I'm like, wow, you know, you kind of maimed me here, sir. But, like, I was just like, whatever. He's so tired. I'll let it go. And, but then I start, like, thinking, I'm like, what is the percentage on a haircut? Like, how much leniency do you give a person, right? Because I was considering, like, you know, man, this guy's just too wacky for me. I can't take this bullshit anymore. He's always, like, doing some kind of craziness. But I'm like, well, you know, we're kind of, like, friends, you know? We talk about animals and stuff. Like I said, he participates in, like, canary talent shows. Like, he's a very prestigious canary trainer, apparently, Well, that's how he got the eye infection to begin with. He's like, oh boy, I got the canaries on the balcony, and every night I covered them up with a garbage bag. Then I was taking off the garbage bag, and some dust got into my eye, and now my eye's acted up, and I'm tired. Right? And so, like, I guess he got a canary infection in his eyes. Some canary dander got into his eyes. So, like, he's like half blind trying to cut people's hair. Training canaries and shit. And, but, like, we share a passion of animals, Like, I just bought a shirt that says, never forget, with a picture of a baby elephant on it. That's, like, my power animal, baby elephants. I love them. Oh, God. So fucking adorable. So, like, we love animals and shit, and we're both Trinidadian, and he's funny as fuck talking about women fucking dogs. Like, that's his big conspiracy. He thinks women fuck dogs nowadays just because he saw it on, like, Pornhub or some pornography site. Women be fucking dogs, boy. But, like, I've been thinking about canning his ass, Like, I was looking at that haircut. I'm like, fuck, man, I'm going to have to get right up your ass about this. Like, how fucking difficult is it to, like, even out a haircut? I was getting right ornery with the man, like, in my head, right? I didn't say anything to him, right? I'm like, Jesus Christ, like, you're always fucking up my hair. Not always, like I said, like 75% of the time. Like, I can always count on 1 out of 4 haircuts just going completely awry. And then I was like, you know what, man? He almost dropped dead in front of me. No, I wasn't like that, Like, if I sound callous and cold-hearted, I mean, I'm not getting up on an old man's ass because, he took a break during a haircut, but it's just like, it's more like he's odd. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't believe the things that happen to him. You know what I mean? It's like, it's odd. It's not like, oh, holy shit, something happened to him. Like, holy shit, he's exhausted or something, right? Or, holy fuck, he fainted. It's more like, what is this? What's this strangeness? Like, it's just another chapter of strangeness with him, right? But, you know what I'm saying? Like, like, you don't have much room for leniency with a haircut. Like, do you? Like, if you go to a barber and he fucks up 1 out of 4 times, like, that's quite a bit. Isn't it? I got, like, a fucking receding hairline now. Or maybe it's, like, my bloated alcoholic face. But, like, I can't tell. I'm, like, looking at myself. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Look at this bulbous head. I remember there was a time when I was a younger man. Like, I'm still a young man. But, like, when I was a younger man, like, at the ripe age of 15. I remember one time, a friend's grandmother came to see me at work, right? I used to work at a grocery store. She comes into work and she's like, oh, hi there. Aren't you, so-and-so's friend? I was like, yeah, I know your grandson. She goes, oh, you're such a good boy. You have such a nice scalp. She mentioned that I had such a nice scalp. I was like, okay, thank you, miss. Fuck off now. And, that was the end of that. But, like, I've always had a very good curvature to the head, right? Like, I've always had a very pronounced, like, that was one of my strong points is my impressive scalp. And, like, lately I've been looking in the mirror, like, ever since this haircut. I'm like, what the fuck did he do to me? He maimed me. I'm, like, looking at it. I'm like, I got, like, a widow's peak receding hairline, which I don't even have. I'm like, you're fucking, you're really, you've been so tired lately that you've been fucking up your haircuts, man. Get it together, boy, wind it up, man. So, but, I'm going to keep working with him. He's a nice man. He's a Trinidadian dude, and I got to cut him some slack, you know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I'm too nice. A part of me is thinking, am I too nice and lenient? Like, like, I felt kind of bad that I was upset with him for the fucked up haircut. Especially because he was feeling a little ill that day. And I'm like, well, you know what? He was having an off day. The haircut's not that bad. My hair grows quick, so, it'll quickly grow in and won't even be noticeable. It's all right. You know what I mean? It's not that bad, but it's still kind of fucked. But, like, I'm going to have to get right up his ass about this from now on. You know what I mean? Like, when you're on my fucking company dollar, you're on the company dollar, buddy. Don't be eating granola bars and telling stories about dog fucking, Like, get to the point. Cut this goddamn hair. Nah, I don't want to be like that, I'm going to calm down. Not be such an asshole. But, anyways, that's my barber for you. Wind it up, man. And, as I'm also a temporary laborer, as I mentioned, stand-up comedian, actor, alcoholic, temporary laborer, I recently had a little episode. Check this out. So, as I'm talking about the man and the haircut, it's all coming down to this new, like I was a little bit, feeling guilty about my feelings towards the man. Like I wasn't more assertive with the haircut. Because, like he wasn't on death's doorstep. It just kind of confused me and kind of startled me to see him kind of be, like, all faint like that. And whatever, he just needed a break. He sat down, had a chocolate bar, and he was fine. I don't know. Like, I felt a little awkward, and I felt like I wasn't assertive enough. Because this happened in the past before, too, with, like, the haircut. Like, sometimes he fucks it up. Like I said, like, 1 out of 4 haircuts kind of goes awry. And I'm never really assertive with him. I'm just like, okay, whatever, I let it go. And that's one thing that I've been working on lately is like being assertive. By the way, pray for my barber. And, I feel like I'm an asshole. Do you see all these guilty feelings when you're like a recovering alcoholic? You can't even say anything bad because then you feel like you're resorting to your old ways. So I'm going to take a moment here to pray for my barber. Dear Lord, my barber, he be so tired lately from the hair cutting and the canary training and the dog fucking videos that he be watching online, man. Dear God, please watch over my hairdresser in this time of need, in this hour of dire need, Lord. Provide the strength and insight into him, man. Wind it up, Lord. Wind it up, man. In God's name we pray. Amen. Keep on rocking in the free world, baby. See you next month. Get those scissors ready. I'm coming in for a cut. This has been an ongoing thing in Johnathan Ramcharan, the podcast, if you're new to it. My hairdresser. Wind it up, man. My hairdresser. He's this old Trinidadian dude, man. And he winds it up, man. He's from the island breeze. I got a hairdresser. He's a Trinidadian man like myself. He's from the motherland. He's from the islands. The island, whatever it is. I don't know. And, yeah. He is an oddball. Here's a little backstory on him. He trains canaries. Is that absurd? He trains canaries. He likes canaries, and he likes them enough that he will get, maybe 10, 20 canaries together, house them, and train them in ways of standing, walking, pecking. I don't know what the fuck it takes to train a canary. He does all this, and then he enters them into, like, talent shows, like bird talent shows. Like, he enters the birds enter the talent show, but he trains them to enter. He coaches them into entering the talent show, right? And he'll be like, oh, them birds and things, man, they standing up there real proud and they stick their chin out and them birds. And he like imitates birds and shit. Like, this man is into the birds. And he he's got like a googly look to his eye, like one of those fucking googly fucking eyes, real fucking kind of placid looking. I don't know, like just kind of like what's going on behind that window, right? Like what's back there? What's in that brain of yours? He's just a fucking weirdo type of dude. And what else can I say about him? Those are basically the things, man. He training birds and things, and he's cutting hair. He's cutting hair, boy. And he always kind of rubbed me the wrong way. In a sense that I felt an ugly side to the man. Like there was something about him that just kind of, there was a darkness to him. It wasn't like, he was kind of a goofball, like obviously, but like, there was kind of a dark side to him too, which was really kind of, I felt it. Like when I met him, there was something about him, just the way he talked, so anyways, I go for a haircut this past Saturday, right? I go for a haircut. And I'm sitting there and he's talking, everything's hunky-dory, Hey boy, how are things like that, man? Did you get that new fish? Like I told you, like me and him are both into animals, right? He's got his canary birds and I had a frog and That thing passed away, unfortunately. Norris, he passed away. Check out episode 6 of Johnathan Ramcharan, the podcast, if you want to hear a little bit about Norris, my buddy. The old frog of mine, he passed away. But I've been thinking about getting a fish, right? So, like one of those Siamese fighting fish. And so my barber, my hairdresser, goes, yeah, did you get that fish yet, boy? I'm like, no, man, I haven't got around to it. And he goes, oh, okay. So everything's hunky-dory. He's doing the haircut, and we're talking like normal. And then he goes, yeah, my boss, man. This woman who runs the parlor, the woman that runs the hair parlor, she always be looking at me, boy. She always be saying my friends can come around and they be causing trouble and this and that, and it's just not fair. And I'm like, well, what are your friends doing? They don't do nothing, man. They just come and they say hi and they have a cup of coffee or whatever. And she's saying that they scaring the customers. They ain't not scaring the customers, man. They my friends. They just standing here talking like, like this, like that. They're not doing nothing, man. They're saying they scaring the customers. And I'm like, well, I don't know. I've seen some of these dudes, right? Like, he's got all these, like, street friends. These gang-banging fucking thugs, fucking drug addict-looking fucks. Just real lousy, low-down, shiftless, spineless, good-for-nothings. They just, like, every time I'm getting my hair cut, some guy comes in, he's like, yo, what's happening, yo? And, the lottery ticket and $6.49, and I was over at Tim Hortons. They're like, those people that just live in those worlds of, like, scratch tickets, Tim Hortons, Big Mac sandwiches. Like, their minds are so stupid. That's all they think about is, like, food and lottery tickets. He's got, like, those type of people coming around and, like, talking shit and swearing and, like, right in front of the customers. Like, I'll be getting my haircut. He'll stop in the middle of a haircut to talk to one of these people. Oh, hey, how's it going and things? What's going on in this? The Lotto 649, 65 million this night. Oh, little bit, blah, 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 blah. Talking about lottery tickets. So, yeah, the woman who runs the parlor, she's saying my friends are scaring the customers and they can't come around and shit. But I'll tell you this, man. The store got robbed. And I just cross my hands and I laugh and I say, blah, 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 blah. Like, sometimes I can't really understand him. He just kind of trails off. The store got robbed and he just robbed. Plus, also, like, the fucking hair trimmers in my ear. Like, bzzz, things like that, man. The store got robbed. And things like that, man. Say, am I doing that? So it's not always easy for me to understand what's going on. But, like, basically, his friends came and, like, are accused of, like, breaking into the store, the hair parlor, and robbing the joints, casing the joint, right? And I'm like, well, I'm starting to see your boss's point, right? I didn't say that, but I'm just like, okay. And, that's what I mean. These are, like, I noticed it. Like, every time I'd come to the hair parlor, the dude's talking to people and yip-yapping and yapping, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, well, it kind of rubs me the wrong way too. Like, these are people that are obviously afflicted. These are weird type of people, to say the least. Hard type of people. And it's like, I just want to get my hair cut. I don't want to interact with some fucking, I don't know, ragamuffin, and so then, but also, like I say, I think I'm a thinking person, so I try to give him the benefit of the doubt as well. I'm like, well, this is how he perceives things. He sees it as that he's in the right, and him and his friends are in the right, and maybe it is just a simple case of, authority and bureaucracy and people telling people what to do because that's what people do. I'm going to tell you what to do because that's my job. And even though it's not, I'm going to take the arbitrary approach to tell you what to do just to let you know that I'm like, that's how people are. A lot of people are that way, very dictatorial, very commanding and blah, blah, blah. It's like, so what? The man, if people in the neighborhood know him and they want to come and stop by and chat with him, what's the big fucking deal? Isn't that good for business? Perhaps if these people weren't just drugged out fucking losers? Like, wouldn't that be a good thing to bring more, like, attention to the parlor? I don't know, right? But anyways, then he continues, right? This one guy comes in, right? And there's a little girl sitting there. She's reading a book, right? Some chick, I don't know, some little girl. She's waiting to get her hair cut. And one of his little street friends comes in, right? And, yeah, man, them things like the Lotto 649 is going to be 65 million next month and blah, 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 and Tim Hortons coffee. I'm going to go to Tim Hortons and get a coffee, man, and blah, 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 blah. It's like, what are they even talking about? I'm sitting there. I got fucking hair follicles in my eyes. This little girl's sitting there kind of watching this whole charade. The guy's, you blood clot, you bomber clot, this and this. I'm going to scratch ticket, man. I tell that woman, and fuck this man. And the next man comes step to me, that blah, blah, blah. And just going off, right? So, you know, me and this little girl, we're just like looking at these two hoodlums, right? We're just like, what? So then finally the dude fucks off, right? Team, all right, man. Yeah, respect, brother. Yeah, respect, Reginald. I'm going to see you next time. He leaves. So then my barber turns to me, my hairdresser. He goes, you see that man there? He murdered his wife. I'm like, what? He murdered his wife. He did 19 years in prison for murdering his wife, man. And then he proceeds to like enact the murder. He murdered his wife. She be tormenting him, and he's just like mimes like stabbing a woman right in front of a fucking 10-year-old child. Like miming out stabbing a woman. And like I kind of laughed a bit, like I had to, just because like it was absurd. As I alluded to before, like the absurdity of things sometimes just elicits laughter, and that's how we deal with things cathartically. But inside, my fucking spidey senses were tingling, just like all that shit I said. His negativity, the certain negative cloud he had on him that I felt, even though he said a lot of real things. You know, he had a very charismatic way of talking, man. How you doing, boy? You coming for a haircut? And things like that, man. And, you know, you got to go get yourself a new pet. You got to go get yourself a new pet and things like that and blah, blah, blah. He had a very, like, charismatic way of talking, but there was a dark cloud over him, and now I'm seeing it as he's miming, enacting, fucking caricaturizing, pantomiming a murder, you know, like pretending to stab a woman, and I'm just like, yeah, you know, I don't think that's cool. It's what, man, the man did his time, didn't he? He did his time, he did 19 years in prison. I'm like, yo, I just don't think that's cool. Like, I mean, when you do something like that, when you take a life, in my opinion, that's the end of you. You're gone for life. I don't care what the circumstances. If you're like mentally challenged, or if you're on drugs and alcohol, or you're just an evil person, whatever the scenario, you're a person that can no longer be trusted in society. That's the bottom line. He goes, well, the man, he did his time, 19 years. I'm like, well, he's still walking around, isn't he? Buying scratch tickets, going to fucking Tim Hortons, isn't he? And I look at the man, my hairdresser, and I go, you know what? You have a family. I know he has a daughter. I know he has a wife, a baby mama. I don't know what the fuck it is. He's one of those people that are so unclear about his life. He's married. He's not married. He has a wife. He doesn't have a wife. He has a girlfriend here, a girlfriend there. He's just a fucking idiot sometimes that way. Those type of people that are just like, you've lived this convoluted, cluttered fucking life, right? I don't even know what it is, you know, his wife, his girl, whatever the fuck she is. So he's got a daughter, he's got some sort of a spouse, he's got a mother. And I turn to him and I go like, yo, you got family. What if that man did that to one of your family members? Then you see him walking around buying fucking Lotto 649 tickets and going for Big Mac sandwiches and talking the nonsense bullshit that he does. Like, what would you do then? And then he's just like, well, yeah, there's a thing like that. That's right. And yeah. But like, it was just kind of like, it was almost like, I could tell he didn't really, I don't think I made an impact. I think he just thinks the way he thinks. I think he has a lot of, hatred towards women, obviously. Just some of the shit he said in the past and the stupidity. I mean, I'm not no fucking choir boy, but like I'm definitely not a hater and I'm definitely not a fucking murder advocate, So it's like, it's hard for me to swallow this shit, right? So then I also say to him, like, didn't any of this strike you as odd? Hanging around a person like that? Like, isn't this strange to you? Like, don't you find this strange? And he goes, hanging around a killer? I'm like, yeah, hanging around a killer. Doesn't that strike you as strange? Well, there was this one time we was going out for coffee and he was standing there and I saw that he was walking a step ahead of me and I stood there and he starts going on about where this man stood or didn't stand and how it struck him as weird. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. So we wind down the haircut. I'm like, yeah, thanks, bro. Thanks for the haircut. Oh, anytime, man. Good having you. Blah, 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 blah. And then it just got me thinking, too, like, it was actually the best haircut I ever got. I'm looking at this haircut. I'm like, God damn it. You had to do the fucking best haircut I ever had this day, didn't you? Because usually, like I said, he's hitting fucking, he's going like, he's getting like a 75% average on haircuts. Like 75% of the time, it's good. 25% of the time, it's just completely fucked. It goes awry, Like he shaves an eyebrow. He fucking gives me a receding hairline. Like he's all over the fucking place sometimes with his haircuts. And I'm like, you had to give me the best haircut you ever gave me on the day when I'm thinking of firing your ass, right? But like, regardless, I can't go back there. I can't be around a person like that. Somebody that doesn't have the common sense to not associate with a known murderer. But it also opened up the thought of forgiveness and the other thought of judgment and the other thought of justice. Because he made his point, like in his mind, like I'm being judgmental because we all don't see the world like everybody else, right? Everybody sees the world uniquely through their own eyes, right? So I'm seeing the fact that, when you a murderer and you going around telling people that you've been locked up and convicted as a murderer, now you're out on the street, and when you live a life of a murderer, like, you fucking made your bed, now sleep in it. Like, how can I ever want to be around a person who killed somebody, right? But on the other hand, the judgment is, well, the man did his time. He did his time. He was locked up for 19 years. He did his time. And there's a point to that. I mean, the justice system found him guilty and persecuted him to the extent of 19 years. So he did his time. Does that account for anything? Am I being judgmental of a man I don't really know? I don't know the man at all. I just see him. Yeah, brother, how's it going? I'm going for a coffee. You want a coffee? And blah, blah, blah. I was getting a lottery ticket. Some stupid idiot who comes in every now and then when I'm getting my hair cut. I've seen him around the neighborhood. And it's like, am I being judgmental of a man who served his time for a crime he committed? Heavy questions, right? And is that justice? Is that justice? We say it's justice if he's out on the street. And I'm sure there's more to the backstory. I'm sure there's a lot of little ins and outs that I don't know about. But as it sits, that's how I see it. And I don't know, man. I think I'm going to have to go get a new barber. Wind it up, man. Yeah. So I can't go back there in good faith. The guy just rubs me the wrong way. I'm going to pray for him. Dear Lord, there was once a time I met this very talented hairdresser. He was a Trinidadian man, true and true. He was a father, a brother, a son, He wound it up at the little hair parlor, cutting their hair for all the children, for all the men. He was a very, very talented hairdresser, the best hairdresser you ever seen this side of the county. Lord Almighty. But then he was taken away from me, Lord. He was taken away from me, Lord, when I found out that he had friends that were killers and murderers, Lord, and I could not run with that type of ragamuffin. I cannot run or rock or muck around with them types cast down with the sodomites, Lord. Almighty, help me have the power, the insight, Lord, to know right from wrong, good from bad, and to renounce all evil. In Jah's name we play. In Jah's name we pray. Amen. Keep on rocking in the free world.